Shoot.
I don't know if y'all heard the story real quick. 6-year-old shot a teacher.
There's a story. I've heard a story like that before a long time ago. Is this another one?
Yeah, so it wasn't a long time ago. This happened, a little while ago. So a 6-year-old shot a teacher. Shot her in the hand, shot her in the neck. And,
Why?
So, I don't know. They didn't really say why. But more important of the story is that a 6-year-old was walking around with a gun. 6-year-old in school. Think about, I don't care, unless it's a 22. It wasn't a 22. Most handguns is pretty heavy to handle. Mm-hmm. How is a 6-year-old just toting a gun? Just in the backyard, willy-nilly, gun. Then had the wherewithal to pull the gun out and shoot it. Most guns typically should be on safety if you're a gun owner, unless you really gonna shoot that thing. Most 6-year-olds shouldn't even know where that gun is kept, even though part of the story was the parents were gun advocates and stuff.
What state?
I forgot to say it off the top of my head, but it wasn't out here. It was in the Midwest, and I can't think of the state off the top of my head.
Yes, the kid was white.
Yes.
Dad a cop?
Huh?
Was the dad a cop?
No.
Okay. But they own guns.
But they own guns. They're like gun advocates. So
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with being a gun advocate.
But how?
But the parents said that the guns were secure.
That's clearly not true.
Obviously not, because the kid, think about it, 6-year-old who had access to this. There's a lot of storylines that goes into this.
Is this kid gonna get pinned for murder when they're 18?
They can't charge him.
You can't charge him.
Part of the reason why they can't charge him is because they tried to charge him, but he's too young to understand the charges that are against him.
Is he aware that he committed murder?
That's what I'm saying. He's too young to understand the charges that are against him.
Too young to understand murder, but able to commit it?
But that's the problem I have.
Clearly, he knew so he was smart enough to understand guns hurt people.
He understood how to use the gun.
He knew how to use it, and he knew he didn't like this teacher.
And he was willing to aim it. And think about this. That gun, even decent guns have a decent amount of kickback, right?
Mm-hmm. He was able to land 2 shots, one a kill shot on the teacher.
Right. Even if he was whiffing and he missed, let's say the kickback aimed it high and it hit the lady in the neck. Think about that. If that kickback wasn't high, we know the kickback, probably blew his arm back.
What is the gun?
They didn't say what the gun, exactly what that, it doesn't matter. Think about this, 6-year-old. A 6-year-old could barely handle a 22. Barely handle a 22.
Oh, they can't charge him, but they can charge his parents.
But see, that's what I'm saying. But they're not even going after the parents. Think about this. He was walking around in school with the gun, and the teachers went to the principal and said, the kid's walking around with the gun in the backpack. And the principal didn't do nothing.
So they're going to charge the principal.
You have to I would charge the parents. I would charge the principal. I would charge the school. I would have that whole place fired. That whole place would be fired, and I'm suing for everything. If I'm that teacher.
Did she live?
No,
the teacher died, but here's the thing. Here's the kicker.
But you can clarify if she died.
But she died, but about a few weeks later because of the wounds. Okay. But here's how resilient the teacher was, and y'all got to give teachers this due. Teacher got shot. Keep in mind, classroom full of kids, right? She gets shot in the hand, she gets shot in the neck, bleeding, all that stuff, but had the wherewithal to get all the other kids out, bleeding the whole 9, and still had the wherewithal to get all the kids to safety, even with this kid with the gun in hand, who just shot her. That teacher.
So wait a minute. So you telling me the kid got 2 shots off and that was it, right?
Yeah, he got 2 shots off.
And then what was the gun? Did he drop it or did he still waving around?
He probably had it in the hand, but you know how that goes. You know, a couple of kickbacks. I'm surprised the gun didn't fly out of his hand. That's on second.
Surprised he didn't hit nobody else.
That's the thing. But the teacher had the wherewithal to clear those kids out of there, which is commendable.
That's our heroes.
Just to be like, after getting shot, you know how when people get shot, you're not really in your right sense of mind, but to be in your sense of mind to clear some kids out, you protected, you got yourself hit and protected 20 other kids. That teacher should be commended for that alone.
So she died due to complication of wounds.
Yes.
What did she say?
Well, she just said that, she got shot. They didn't go through they didn't really put the whole story because, again, all of it's legal.
Did she want to press charges?
I'm pretty sure they had to press charges because of the situation. But the problem is you can't charge a kid. But you could clearly charge an adult. You could clearly charge your parents.
So what? I know we've run out of time.
I know, but
how did this transpire?
See, now, I hate to say this, and I'm gonna always say that it shouldn't be. It's due to two things. One, because their parents are gun advocates. For one, so that means that the parents probably been teaching their kid how to shoot enough.
Ideally, they were trying to teach them safely how to do it.
Right, probably safely, but they really didn't teach the kid the proper way. Keep in mind, you're a 6-year-old, and I wouldn't really teach a 6-year-old how to do it. And like I said, love to my kids, of course. My kids didn't really understand guns, like I said, especially my son. He didn't really understand guns until about 16 or 17.
When you train people, whether it be young kids or adults, about guns, there's two things that you have to train them about. One, the physical training of the gun, how to operate it, how to clean it, how to use it, all that good stuff. But then the psychological training of that this is a weapon and it will kill who's ever on the other side of it.
And the discipline behind it. Now, here's the thing, and I hate bringing this up because I don't think it's 100% accurate, but I know the concept of people, and they're going with this story. It's the video game effect.
No, it's not.
I know, but the story's starting to become, because these kids are playing the Grand Theft Autos and stuff, they're so used to seeing
granted, a child shouldn't play that regardless.
Yes.
But that's not going to drive them to murder. That's
but that's what I say. They're trying to put. No. I know. I'm just telling you what the narrative is being thrown.
And I hate to say it, and I still say this to this day, what race was he?
He was.
Okay.
Yeah, but part of that was, it's the narrative being thrown. And that has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with they're trying to knock gaming. But I always said, if you're a better parent, you don't let your kids play Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty at the age of 6. But I'm going to tell you right now, you got more 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds playing that game than anybody else.
Ironically, you got more children playing Grand Theft Auto and you got more adults playing Pokemon.
Right.
That's not even a joke.
And that's not even funny. And that is an absolute fact.
And there's nothing wrong with Pokemon.
No.
There's not. I don't play it. It's not my cup of tea. But my point is, why are children playing Grand Theft Auto?
Because parents
are... We're finna play it today. We're finna go out here and go do some Pokemon. How about that?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go get my Charizard. You going to get my Squirtle on?
But I just say it feels bad because when you see this lady, who lost her life, protected all these kids, and this kid cannot even sniff like any type of jail time.
What state?
I don't remember.
Midwest.
It's Midwest, yeah. But it ain't out here, because out here, even then, you can't charge. But I get it, you can't charge them because when the legal part,
they can't charge them, but they can take them away.
No, they
not even juvie.
No, they can't. No, they can take them. They can CPS them.
Yeah,
but the parents, if you're like back in the day, at least to my knowledge, if I was to do something and I couldn't get legally charged for it, my mom would have to be responsible for the action that me and my sister did. Like when my kids were younger, my kids did something, that responsibility fell on me. If they did something, they couldn't really charge them directly. We would bear responsibility for it. So if my kid went into a store and stole something, they're not just coming after the kid, they're coming after me. I'm liable to pay for those damages and stuff. I would have to do that, that little bit of time if they wasn't of age, because I allowed my kid to do it. That makes sense? Yeah. So why is it that a kid could walk around with the gun from a family that's a gun advocate and not get no charge whatsoever against the parents,
I'm
not
pretty
taking
sure this kid knew
responsibility
what
for
his
the
gun
kid.
was and how to get it after.
No, I get it, but if you are really if you're really exercising gun safety, you know that those guns are either A, under lock and key, or through a combination in a gun safety box where nobody has access to it but the person who has the numbers and stuff. And I'm not saying the kids ain't smart enough to try to figure certain things out, but they ain't that smart. Not no 6-year-old.
Not at 6.
Not at 6. And so you have to hold the parents responsible. And because the principal and the teachers, and especially since the principals knew that this kid was toting around a backpack with a gun inside of it and didn't stop him the first time,
They're going to get in trouble.
I would have sued that whole school. And if I was a parent, even not involved, if my kid was in that class, I'm suing too. Because you put my kid at risk for letting this kid walk around with the gun in his backpack and y'all knew it. That's the story. Man. But don't try to tag in. And I know they're trying to tag in the whole gaming thing, and I kind of understand it, but stop tagging in the game itself because that's not the buy all and end all.
Okay.
But anyway, I just want to throw that in there because that all just happened too.